let's work through some examples and see if we can determine which homophone to use to match the overall meaning of the sentence. When the wind changed, Edwin expertly adjusted the sail in order to keep his boat on course. Okay, so we have C-O-A-R-S-E and C-O-U-R-S-E. Which word matches the meaning of the intended meaning of the sentence? Well, if something is coarse, C-O-A-R-S-E, that is referring to its roughness. All right, so if we have coarse sandpaper, for example, coarseness is in relation to how rough the sandpaper is. C-O-U-R-S-E, of course, refers to the path that we travel. Are we staying on the right course? In this case, C-O-U-R-S-E is the correct homophone. Given that there were more than 100 guests at the wedding, how many presents do you think Shivani and Tim have received? All right, so presents, P-R-E-S-E-N-C-E or P-R-E-S-E-N-T-S. Well, we're at a wedding. Presents were given out. So presents, of course, meaning gifts. In this case, P-R-E-S-E-N-T-S refers to gifts that were given. So how many presents did they receive? That is the correct homophone. In the morning, dew dripped off the waxy green leaves and formed small puddles on the forest floor. So we have D-O, D-E-W, and D-U-E. Okay, let's think about what each spelling means. Do, D-O, refers to something that you do. It is an action. D-E-W, of course, refers to the water that deposits on the ground and forms on the ground first thing in the morning, that early morning dew. And then finally, D-U-E is referring to something owed, or when something needs to be turned in. Now, in our sentence, we're told that this dew is dripping off the leaves and forming small puddles on the forest floor. Well, that sounds to me like the morning dew, D-E-W, which would be our correct homophone. In an especially memorable moment of Homer's epic poem, The Odyssey, Odysseus and his crew land on an isle full of one-eyed man-eating giants called Cyclopes. Which isle matches this sentence? A-I-S-L-E, I-S-L-E, or I''L-L? Well, we know that I''L-L is a contraction of I will. So did the crew land on an I will? No, we can rule that one out. But what about isle with an A and isle with an I? Isle with an I is a shortened form of the word island. Okay? Isle with an A refers to the aisles, for example, in a grocery store. So if we go down aisle 8, we can get our sugar and our chocolate and our cake mixes to bake a cake. So in this case, since they landed on an isle or an island, I-S-L-E is the correct homophone. Now let's work through a couple of examples to see if we can determine the definition of a word in a sentence based on how it is used. So let's look at the word bluff and see if we can determine what it means. If you bluff during the game, Mr. Brennan is sure to see right through it. So bluff could mean a verb of trying to fool others, or bluff could be a noun, a steep cliff. The sentence is talking about a game. So what makes more sense? Are we trying to fool others during a game, or are we doing something with a steep cliff? So if Mr. Brennan is going to see right through it, we're being warned here not to try to fool him, because he's going to pick up on it quite easily. In this case, bluff is a verb meaning to fool others. Now let's see if we can determine what the word breed means based on how it is used in the following sentence. Each year, scientists breed new types of flowers and plants. So does it refer to the verb, which means to cause an animal or plant to reproduce, or does it refer to a noun, which is a variety of dog or other animal? Well, we can rule out dogs and animals based on the fact that it's saying that scientists breed new types of flowers and plants. So our other option, to cause an animal or plant to reproduce, this is how breed is being used in this sentence. Finally, let's look at some examples where we are given a word and a definition, and we're going to see which sentence uses the word based on the definition given. Here we have dart, which is a noun. It's a tiny arrow that is thrown or shot. Our first sentence states, we watched the fly dart across the room and out the window. Or, the dart landed in the center of the target and everyone cheered. So in the first sentence, dart is being used as a verb, and it's referring to the way that the fly is moving quickly across the room. In the second sentence, we have dart used as a noun. So it's saying that the dart landed in the center of the target. Well, how did it get there? It had to have been thrown or shot. Therefore, the second sentence is using dart based on the definition we are given. In our last example, let's see if we can determine which sentence is using cloak based on the definition that we are given. Cloak is a noun that refers to a loose outer garment or a cape. Jenny's long red cloak is made of velvet. Or Jenny's calm manner may cloak how she really feels. All right, both sentences are talking about Jenny. The first one is referring to a cloak that she's wearing, talking about the material that it's made out of. And the second one is saying that her personality, her calm manner, her demeanor could possibly cloak or hide how she really feels. Well, if our definition is a loose outer garment, is that loose outer garment the calm manner, or is it made of velvet? Well, garments, of course, are made of materials. Velvet is a material. Jenny's long red cloak is made of velvet, is the correct use of the word.